From the wealthiest country in West Africa to a civil war and a 9-year political crisis, the Ivory Coast has seen its fair share of turbulence. But now the country is enjoying peace, political stability and economic growth. I'm honoured to be speaking to His Excellency, Mr. Prime Minister Daniel Kablan Duncan. Mr. Prime Minister, the Ivory Coast has had its ups and its downs, but what is the economic situation on the ground today?
Well, the economic situation is improving on the ground, and to confirm it, last year in 2012, we have an increase in GDP by 9.8%. This year we expect 9%, and next year I think we have a double-digit growth. It's a rapid growth, and that's necessary because the president wants to turn Côte d'Ivoire into an emerging market by 2020. So we have to have a long-standing economic growth so that we'll be in a position to improve the situation of the people in the country.
How have you been affected by the global financial crisis?
Africa as a whole was not too much affected by the by the financial crisis because the links are not so important with the financial sector. Even if they affect some developed countries to buy more from African countries. And that's one of the reasons why we are trying to diversify our trade with the different continents.
What areas are strongest today, and how do you see the financial services sector developing?
The main basis of the economy in Côte d'Ivoire is the agriculture. We produce a variety of products. As you may know, we are the world's largest producer of cocoa with 1.5 million tons each year. We are now diversifying the production, cotton, palm oil, rubber, and so on. But we want to process more of it locally. And we are trying also to have partners, foreign partners, to develop the mining, the oil and gas sector, and also to have some PPP, private and public partnership, to finance, let's say, the infrastructure.
The World Bank's 2013 Doing Business Index ranked the Ivory Coast as the 9th hardest place in the world to do business. Do you think this is fair?
We are among the 10 best performers in reforms in the world. You have 189 countries that has been ranked, and Côte d'Ivoire is among the 10 best performers. Okay, I think that's a merit to do that, and that means that it is really, really important for us to improve the environment of business in Côte d'Ivoire.
Well, what changes are needed to encourage more private investment into the country?
We have a bilateral meeting with the private sector, chaired by the Prime Minister every 3 months. Maybe we can do it in a shorter time so that we can be in contact of the needs of the private sector. We also have to improve the situation as far as the trade with other countries who have a special non-stop shop relating to external trade, so that we can also shorten the delays to improve the situation, the port and the airport of Abidjan, and more welcome the people who are coming from abroad to invest in Côte d'Ivoire.
There's obviously a lot of talk about the country's new development plan. So what does this have in store?
We have an amount of 22 billion US dollars to invest. And we have 114 projects. 54 of them are public and 60 are private. And the question is that you should have the financing for that. And out of this, we have the agriculture sector, which is the basis of the economy, in which we have $4 billion. And 60% of it is financed by the private sector. And we are on the way to achieve all these. And that's the reason why we would like to have more and more diversified foreign investors.
Well, moving on to the continent now, and obviously the Ivory Coast is very well situated as a trade route with the rest of the continent. So what is your relationship with the rest of Africa?
The change within the countries of Africa compared to the total trade is 11%. While Côte d'Ivoire trade with other African countries is 23%. So we are performing more, but that's not sufficient. Because if you take the exchange between the European countries, you have 80%. We have to do more. We need more roads, highways, more railways, more airports and ports to make this connection with the other countries. We are on the way to do that. For instance, we are building a highway that will link Côte d'Ivoire to Ghana, to Togo, to Benin, and to Nigeria. It will be a toll highway of about 1,000 kilometers. We are doing the same thing with in the north. So that can enable to increase the trade between African countries. But it's not just infrastructure. We have to change energy, because that's one of the key for development.
Well, 2015 will see a common external tariff implemented with the 15-nation economic community of West African states. So how will this boost international trade, especially with the EU?
We are a member of the ECOWAS countries, the 15 countries we mentioned. We have 300 million inhabitants. That's a real market. What we are trying to do is that better to have a common approach of development in the area. I mentioned already the railway, the roads, but we should have an external tariff. The decision is made in Dakar last week, and we hope to achieve it by 2015. And the other possibility is also to have the same currency for the 15 countries, and we hope that that will be achieved as soon as possible, so that we can have an external tariff, the same currency, that's enabled to have intertrade with within the different country, but also to have a common approach toward the external world also, and to have negotiation as a bloc with different countries, European Union countries or Asian countries and so on.
And finally, future economic success really does depend on political peace and stability. So how do you see the future of your country?
Well, we went through a difficult period, of course, and I can understand your question. But we are working hard on it. Once the government was put in place by the President Hassan Ouattara, he gives 3 aims to the government. The first one is to restore peace and security. The second one is to restore to make national reconciliation. And the third one, of course, is to boost the economy. Well, as far as peace and security is concerned, as we have some light arms circulating in the area, we have work to improve the security in our country and in the region also. And the insecurity index was 4 when we end the crisis. Is now 1.4, went down to 1.4. And by the end of the year, we'll have 1. So that's normal. And I think that's the reason why the African Development Bank is coming back to its headquarters in Abidjan. And we have more and more embassies also that have come back. And some of the international companies have chosen Abidjan as their headquarters to cover the sub-region. So peace and security is back, but we have to work hard on it to prepare the next election will take place in 2015.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you.
Thank you again. Merci. Thank you.